Hi everyone, I'm Noctis Kyrios, and I've been a singer here on YouTube for about 6 years now. And I've also been a Punishing Wriothesley player for about 2.5 years now. And today, we are going to be reacting to all of the collected Miscellany videos from Genshin Impact. Without further ado, let's dive in. Fermine, Comfort and Automata. Let's go.
If you need someone to help you with underwater work, you'll surely hear mentions of Fermine. Though he's one of Fontaine's best divers, he rarely shows his face. Those familiar with him would say that's because he spends most of his time beneath the waves. This makes for quite an awkward situation. You see, any diver talented enough to swim down and find him for a job might as well do the job themselves.
At your command.
Though Fermine lacks confidence, he's actually more adept at completing missions than he gives himself credit for. As long as Per is by his side, Fermine will wield his sword to protect his home, no matter how powerful the enemies may be. Even before gaining his vision, to Fermine, diving had become a part of his everyday life. When Fermine is in the party, he will reduce the consumption rate of party members' aquatic stamina, making it easier to explore underwater. Fermine's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes, dealing physical damage. His charged attack consumes stamina over time to perform continuous swirling attacks, finishing with an especially powerful slash. Using his elemental skill, Fermine performs an upward thrust that deals cryo damage and enters pair timer for a period. While pair timer is active, Fermine's normal attacks will cause the timer to increase the pressure
that's kind of interesting.
and release waves of frost that deal cryo damage. Damage from these waves will be considered elemental skill damage. In addition, while under the pair timer, Fermine's elemental skill will turn into Shattering Pressure. Shattering Pressure will execute different attacks based on pair timer's pressure level, and then cancel the timer. At level 0, Shattering Pressure will unleash a vertical cut that deals cryo damage. From levels 1 to 3, Shattering Pressure will unleash a vertical cut alongside pair to deal cryo and physical damage. The damage dealt will scale based on pressure level. At level 4, Fermine will borrow the power of a fully pressurized pair to deal physical damage. At this time, Fermine's normal attacks will also be replaced by Shattering Pressure.
Wow, okay. That's interesting.
At specific intervals, after performing the upward thrust, a Spirit Breath Thorn upward thrust will also be created, dealing Numa-aligned cryo damage.
Commencing cleanup!
With his elemental burst, Fermine unleashes a wave of cold that deals AoE cryo damage, resets the cooldown of his elemental skill, and causes him to enter the subnautical hunter mode for a period of time. In this mode, Fermine's interruption resistance will increase, his elemental skill cooldown is decreased, and the damage of its normal attack frost waves is increased. In addition, while pair timer is also active, Fermine's normal attacks will give pair 1 additional pressure stack. These effects will be cancelled when Fermine leaves the field. After unlocking the talent Saturation Deep Dive, if pair timer has less than 4 levels of pressure, when pressurized flow Shattering Pressure is used, the cooldown of pressurized flow will be decreased. Fermine's efficiency at completing missions has gradually increased ever since he incorporated his knowledge of machinery into combat. After unlocking the talent Parallel Condensers and triggering Shatter on an opponent, the damage of pressurized flow Shattering Pressure will be increased for a period of time. To Fermine, fighting in battle is not so different from operating Clockwork Mecha. In both cases, knowledge of general principles and communication of orders are crucial to resolving difficult problems. In battle, Fremine can easily adapt his combat style to the needs of the situation. With Pear by his side, Fremine can use his elemental skill to unleash shattering pressure on his opponents, dealing damage based on the pressure level of the Pear timer. When energy is full, Fremine can enter subnautical hunter mode, reducing the cooldown of his elemental skill and increasing the pressure accumulation rate of the Pear timer. This will boost his damage output and allow him to finish his mission in a reliable manner.
Alright.
As long as you can still think for yourself, you'll realize that obeying orders is no easy task. Fremine likely knows this as well, or he wouldn't have tried to seal away his emotions, performing his tasks like a clockwork mecha and diving into the deep sea to empty his mind. Even so, Fremine is no mindless machine, and the people and things around him will continue to pull him back out of the sea. Perhaps one day, he will finally realize that orders are not delicious dishes presented to him on a silver platter, but rather frozen walls that are obstructing him from completing his final metamorphosis.
Okay, that was interesting. He has an interesting mechanic, I'll be honest. He has a pretty interesting mechanic with the whole pressure system. Repair. Although I still don't really know how to feel about him as like a character. Although I do find it interesting about the whole obeying orders and thinking for yourself type bit. I do wonder how that'll come into play with his character, honestly. Super interested to discover that when I get to Fontaine. Which is gonna be a long while, but I'll get there eventually. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the next video. Nouvellette. Percepts of the Ages. Let's go.
In Fontaine,
Precepts of the
where
Ages.
the world's waters converge, the stage blurs the line between drama and reality.
Okay.
But high above the histrionics stands a solemn figure whose demeanor seems at odds with the spectacle below.
The pleasure is all mine.
Nouvellette is extremely adept at using hydro. Water itself seems to be at his beck and call. Surely this power is the true source of his capacity for impartial judgment. Despite having neither a vision nor any professional training, Nouvellette's diving skills are vastly superior to the ordinary person. If Nouvellette is in the party,
Oh, that's
underwater
interesting. He
sprint
doesn't
speed
have
is
a vision.
increased for your own party members.
That's interesting.
Nouvellette's normal attack calls forth the waves with his cane, performing up to 3 strikes that deal hydro damage. While charging, Nouvellette's charged attack slowly gathers the power of the source water to form a seal of arbitration. He can move freely and change direction while the seal is formed. If he stops charging before the seal is fully formed, Nouvellette consumes a set amount of stamina to perform a charged attack, shooting a powerful blast of water that deals AoE hydro damage.
Okay,
If the
damn.
seal is fully formed when charging stops, he performs a charged attack, Equitable Judgment, instead, releasing a surging torrent that continuously deals AoE hydro damage to enemies in a straight line in front of him. Charged attack Equitable Judgment does not consume stamina and lasts for a set period. If his HP is higher than a certain percentage while using it, he continuously consumes HP.
Damn.
After
Okay.
unlocking the talent Heir to the Ancient Sea's authority, when a party member triggers a Vaporize, Frozen, Electrocharge, Bloom, Hydro Swirl, or a Hydrocrystallize reaction on an enemy, Nouvellette gains the Past Draconic Glories effect for a period of time, increasing the damage dealt by Equitable Judgment. He can have up to 3 stacks of Past Draconic Glories, and stacks created by each kind of elemental reaction
Alright.
exist independently.
I'm sorry, I have to say
Nouvellette's
this, but
elemental skill calls down a
Water go
raging
brr.
waterfall that deals AoE hydro damage to enemies in front of him, based on his own max HP.
okay.
After striking an enemy, the skill generates 3 source water droplets near the enemy. While he is charging his charged attack, he absorbs source water droplets within a certain radius. Each source water droplet absorbed restores HP and reduces the time required for the seal to fully form. At certain intervals, after the waterfall summoned by his elemental skill has descended, a spirit breath thorn appears that pierces enemies, dealing Numa-aligned hydro damage.
Be sanctified.
Using his elemental burst, Nervilet unleashes rupturing waves
Damn,
of AoE
that looks
hydro
good.
damage based on his own max HP. After a short interval, 2 waterfalls descend that deal hydro damage in a smaller area and create several source water droplets within a given radius. Life is governed by its own natural law, and none who defy it will escape arbitration. After unlocking the talent Discipline of the Supreme Arbitration, Nervilet receives a hydro damage bonus based on the amount of his current HP that exceeds a certain percentage. The size of the damage bonus gained in this way has a limit. As the Udex, Nervilet's conduct is just and fair as the water itself. The innocent need not fear, but the guilty will be tried for their transgressions. In combat, fully charged attacks using Seals of Arbitration are Nervilet's primary mode of attack. Source water droplets generated by his elemental skill allow Nervilet to quickly charge his Charged Attack Equitable Judgment and deal hydro damage to the enemies ahead. When energy is full, Nervilet calls down waterfalls, creating even more source water droplets. With the cooperation of his companions, the ensuing torrential onslaught of the tides shall ensure triumph. From Nervilet's position, every conflict in Teyvat must seem like a comedy acted upon a stage. Fighting for territory that doesn't belong to them, singing the praises of overlords who imprison them, and committing sins that will long outlive them. Still, he does not seem to be an unfeeling spectator at all. In fact, he even tries to understand the causes behind this state of affairs. I rarely see such people, but lest you condemn me as ignorant or a loner for making such a statement, I should remind you that there is only one Udex of Fontaine in this world.
Okay. He looks pretty cool. I'm gonna be honest. He looks really cool. Did not expect that from him. I do like that he uses cane. And also, for his charged attack, water cannon go brrrr. I'm sorry, I have to say that. Water cannon go brrrr. I'm sorry. But, yeah. I also like his ult animation, too. And I'm also very curious about his story and how his story ties into the story of Fontaine as well. But yeah, with that aside, let's move on to the next video. Wriothesley, New Age, New Order. Let's go. I'm expecting big things, man, because all of his previous trailers were pretty cool and pretty hype. So I'm expecting something pretty big. So yeah, let's go.
The fortress of Meripede is where exiles gather. Sitting on the seabed far beyond the reach of the court of Fontaine, the name alone evokes danger and teeming, breeding chaos. But this fortress, built of bronze and iron, is a bastion of order. One can't help but wonder, who is in charge here? If you have a chance to meet the administrator, you really should go and see for yourself.
You got a side job for me? Sure thing.
No matter how talented a manager you are, it's difficult to convince people in the Fortress of Meripede without the ability to enforce the rules. The intelligent respect the rules, and those who have faced Wriothesley's cryo gauntlets naturally come to regret their
Wriothesley,
previous
fuck.
ignorance.
Why do we keep butchering names?
So as to be ready for anything, Wriothesley makes the most out of any opportunity to prepare. When Wriothesley crafts weapon ascension materials, he has a chance to receive double the product, boosting the party's adventure readiness. Wriothesley's normal attacks condense frost onto his gauntlets, and he strikes rapidly with his repelling fists, dealing cryo damage with a combo of up to 5 swift attacks. Also, for a short time after Wriothesley uses his elemental skill, or sprints, the counter on his normal attack combo will not reset. When using a charged attack, Wriothesley consumes a certain amount of stamina and executes a leaping strike with his vaulting fist, dealing AoE cryo damage. When Wriothesley uses his elemental skill, he quickly adjusts his breathing, rhythm, and pace. Sprinting forward a short distance, he enters the chilling penalty state, increasing his resistance to interruption in order to deliver even more devastating attacks.
Okay.
While in the chilling penalty
Yeah,
state,
man.
Repelling Fist is enhanced. Each strike does more damage, but if his HP is above a certain threshold, he loses a small amount of health with each hit in exchange for this power. This
Man,
effect
he just
disappears
looks
when
so
Wriothesley
cool,
leaves the
bro.
field. After unlocking the talent, there shall be a plea for justice. When Wriothesley's HP is below a certain threshold, he gains Gracious Rebuke, and his next normal attack is enhanced, becoming Rebuke Vaulting Fist. Rebuke Vaulting Fist does not consume stamina, and its damage is increased. After striking a target, Wriothesley regains a portion of his max HP. The Gracious Rebuke effect can only be triggered once in a set period of time.
Have a safe trip.
With his elemental burst, Wriothesley activates his gauntlets, unleashing a ferocious, frosty straight
Yeah,
strike,
that looks cool
using
as hell.
icicle impact on the area in front of him to deal multiple instances of AoE cryo damage. After icicle impact ends, a surging blade falls on the opponent's position, dealing Usia-aligned cryo damage. Behind every crime lies an action, and those actions have consequences. After unlocking the talent, there shall be a reckoning for sin, when Wriothesley's HP increases or decreases. If he is in the chilling penalty state, after using his elemental skill, chilling penalty will gain a stack of prosecution edict, increasing his attack. This effect can stack up to a certain limit. It's a good idea to avoid unnecessary battles, but for Wriothesley, turning the tables on someone and throwing down can be quite the cool and refreshing experience. In battle, Wriothesley quickly primes himself for the fight by using his elemental skill, before unleashing his repelling fist to attack. The HP lost at this time is exactly what he needs to enhance his charged attacks. In harmony with his own battle rhythm, Wriothesley can unleash an even more powerful Rebuke Vaulting Fist, dealing a powerful blow to enemies while regaining composure. When
Alright.
his energy is full, Wriothesley can punch forward with Condensed Frost, dealing multiple instances of AoE cryo damage to punish mischief makers and rabble-rousers. Human lives are short, and their
Rabble-rousers.
memories cannot be passed on. The origins of the Fortress of Meropide have long become shrouded in the mists of the past, and difficult to verify. But as the prophesized catastrophe looms ever closer, Wriothesley pieced together the lost shards of history and revealed once more the silent secrets of the underwater fortress.
Okay.
Condemned willingly serve the gods out of their own sense of guilt, but have they ever considered that the gods may be unable to bring them the consolation they long for?
Okay, yeah, this guy is definitely cool as hell, man. Definitely cool as hell. No pun intended. Or pun intended. I don't really care. But yeah, I'm 100% pulling for this guy and his weapon whenever he comes around, because he is dope. And I love his moveset, man. I just love characters that uses their fists in combat, man. It's just awesome, dude. And his character design is awesome too. And just everything about him is cool and awesome. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to the next trailer before I get too hung up here. Farina, Reflection in the Mirror. Let's go.
Lady Farina's dramatic twists never fail to amaze. You can never predict whether her next song will be a rousing soprano or a melancholy contralto, nor where her whirling dance will next lead the audience's gaze. That was a snippet from one of the most popular editions of the Steambird.
I knew you'd miss me.
Farina has an entourage of hydro-proficient companions to assist her in various capacities.
Aw.
To show her gratitude, she occasionally invites them to her tea parties. With the world's doors open wide before her, the notion of a stage is not so narrowly defined. While Farina is in the party, the cooldown of xenochromatic Fontaine aberrant skills is reduced. Farina's normal attack can
Alright.
combo up to 4 sword strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Using
Ah,
a
yeah,
charged
she uses
attack
sword.
consumes a set amount of stamina to unleash her Pas Seul aura, dealing physical damage to nearby enemies, and changing Farina's Arca alignment.
Okay.
Periodically, when Farina's normal attack hits, a Spirit Breath Thorn or a Surging Blade descends on the enemy, dealing Pneuma or Usia aligned Hydro damage based on her current Arca alignment. Her elemental skill invites the guests of the Salon Solitaire into battle to support her performance. When Farina's Arca alignment is Usia, she scatters a spray of celebratory bubbles, dealing AoE Hydro damage based on her max HP, and summons the 3 members of the Salon Solitaire. Namely, Gentilhomme Usher the Ball Octopus, Surintendant Cheval Moran the Bubbly Seahorse, and Mademoiselle Crabaletta the Armored Crab. The Salon members periodically attack nearby enemies, prioritizing
Those are
the
cute
active
names.
character's target, and deal Hydro damage based on max HP. When a Salon member attacks, the strength of the attack increases based on the number of nearby party members whose current HP is over a certain percentage, and consumes some HP from them. The more characters that meet the requirements, the greater the increase. When Farina's Arca alignment is Pneuma, she summons the Singer of Many Waters, which periodically heals nearby active characters by an amount based on max HP. If Farina's elemental skill summons are on the field when she uses a charged attack, the lineup switches to match her new Arca alignment. The Salon members and Singer of Many Waters share a duration, so when the lineup changes, the new guests inherit the remaining duration. While Salon members or Singer of Many Waters exist, Farina can walk on water.
Hey, oh,
After
okay.
unlocking
She's
the
literally
talent Unheard
Jesus.
Confession, Farina's elemental skill is enhanced in 2 ways. Damage dealt by Salon members is increased, and the interval between heals from the Singer of Many Waters is decreased, both scaling with max HP. The maximum buff that can be obtained this way has a certain limit.
Time to shine!
Harnessing the spirit of revelry, Farina's elemental burst creates a stage of bubbles and foam
Oh, that's
that
such a
deals
good
AoE
animation.
Hydro damage based on her max HP, and causes all party members to enter the Universal Revelry state. While in Universal Revelry state, each time a nearby party member's HP rises or falls, Farina gains 1 stack of fanfare per 1% of their max HP that is gained or lost. The damage dealt by, and incoming healing bonus of, all nearby party members will be increased based on Farina's fanfare. When the duration ends, all stacks of fanfare are clear. The tides of life ebb and flow like an endless waltz. After unlocking the talent Endless Waltz, when the active character in your party receives healing, if the source of the healing is not Farina herself and the healing overflows, then Farina will periodically heal a nearby party member by a certain percentage of their max HP for a short duration afterward. While Farina prefers the Opera House stage to the theater of combat, she has some insight into the common ground between battle and acting. Just a little fanfare can turn an impromptu performance into a tour de force. Farina's primary tool in combat is her elemental skill, with which she summons her entourage to assist her in battle. By switching between her guests with her charged attack, she can change her Arca alignment to suit the demands of the battle. When energy is full, Farina fashions a stage out of foam and bubbles. As she accrues fanfare from her fellow party members, she bolsters their combat capabilities, building up to a glorious finale fit for the finest opera. While I can't claim much expertise when it comes to opera, I have heard that actors often rehearse in front of the mirror. On the one hand, they need to immerse themselves in the character and the scene, and on the other, they must see themselves from the perspective of the audience to decide whether their act is emotionally compelling. I'm sure that Farina, too, has spent time adjusting her technique in front of the mirror, all alone. But I wonder, who is it that she really sees looking back at her?
Yo. She seems pretty fun. She seems like a fun character to play. Yeah, I'm definitely pulling for her if she ever, whenever her banner rolls around next. Definitely pulling for her, because she seems like a real fun character. Also, very interested in the story behind her character. I'm assuming it's very much tied into the story of Fontaine itself, I imagine. I'm super excited to see where that story goes and when Farina's banner pops up next, because I like her moveset and everything about it. It's really interesting. Anyways, let's move on to the next video. Charlotte, it's a scoop. Let's go.
Journalism is a dangerous profession for anyone who pursues the truth wherever it leads. But no one embraces the totality of danger and truth quite like the Steambird's poster journalist, Ms. Charlotte.
Let's get this interview started.
Wherever there's a lead to a new scoop, you'll likely find Charlotte and her custom-made camera companion, Monsieur Verite. So if you're ever on a fact-finding mission, consider inviting her along. She will, no doubt, be of great assistance. Charlotte's normal attack can combo up to 3 strikes, taking aim at targets with Monsieur Verite, then dealing cryo damage. With her charged attack, she consumes a set amount of stamina and, after a moment's preparation, deploys Monsieur Verite, dealing AoE cryo damage. Periodically, after Charlotte uses a charged attack, a Spirit Breath Thorn will descend, piercing enemies and dealing Numa-aligned AoE cryo damage. When her elemental skill is tapped, Charlotte's dauntless determination as an ace reporter kicks in. She snaps a quick photo with Monsieur Verite, dealing AoE cryo damage to enemies in front, and applying Snappy Silhouette to a limited number of them. Snappy Silhouette periodically deals cryo damage to affected enemies throughout its duration. When her elemental skill is held, Charlotte opens Monsieur Verite's viewfinder and enters composition mode. In this mode, the viewfinder range gradually expands until it reaches its maximum
That's
size.
interesting.
Charlotte can move freely and change direction during this time. When the skill is released, Monsieur Verite deals cryo damage to enemies locked in the viewfinder and applies Snappy Silhouette as if the skill were tapped. If the viewfinder has reached its maximum range, Focused Impression is applied instead, which deals greater damage and has a longer duration. Composition mode can only last for a limited period and affect a limited number of enemies. After unlocking the talent Moment of Impact, Charlotte's elemental skill cooldown is reduced when enemies affected by Focused Impression are defeated. The amount by which the cooldown can be reduced in this way within a certain duration is limited.
Okay.
Charlotte's flair
Good
for
to know.
photography is the finest feather in her journalistic cap. After activating the special analysis zoom lens, holding her elemental skill does not trigger composition mode, enabling her to take photos in a rather unique manner.
Oh, okay.
Hard-hitting exclusive!
Charlotte's elemental burst forms a Steambird sign from condensed ice, creating a newsflash field and dealing AoE cryo damage.
Okay,
while
that's
healing all
certainly
party
unique.
members by an amount based on her attack. While the newsflash field is active, Monsieur Verite will periodically attack opponents inside, dealing cryo damage. In addition, active characters within the field are continuously healed. The amount of HP restored is based on Charlotte's attack. Different people with their diverse perspectives offer fresh angles of approach on breaking news. After unlocking the talent Diversified Investigation, Charlotte gains a set healing bonus for each Fontainian party member other than herself. For each non-Fontainian party member, she gains a set cryo damage bonus. Reporting the news takes Charlotte right to the scene of unfolding events, and with her wealth of experience, she knows to expect the unexpected. Charlotte's elemental skill is her primary means of assisting in battle. By holding the skill, she can target more enemies and apply focused impression to them, periodically dealing cryo damage, and creating excellent opportunities for elemental reactions. When energy is full, Charlotte's elemental burst can quickly heal all party members to keep them battle ready, while also creating a newsflash field. Thanks to Monsieur Verité's periodic attacks, she is able to collect crucial evidence from every angle before it disappears for good. Journalism is said to have its roots in the business of intelligence trading, driven purely by profit. In stark contrast, today's journalists are expected to hold themselves to a set of high ethical standards:
Fair.
integrity,
True.
veracity, and impartiality.
Honestly, true for the
I
most
do not
part,
believe
depending on
people
what
can be truly
journalism
impartial.
you're doing.
What is true to one person may not be so to another. My words, for example, contain numerous subjective opinions, which may sound like nothing more than a tall tale to others. If Charlotte were willing to interview me, I'm curious to see how she would deal with my subjectivity. I'm only joking. My story would bring her nothing but trouble. What she doesn't know can't harm her.
Heyo. Okay. I'll be honest. Probably one of the most mid, I think, in terms of the animation. Well, I do like the sort of camera motif, but other than that, she's not really my favorite character, I'll be honest. She doesn't really look like someone I imagine I would enjoy playing. But I think that's just me. Let's move on to the next one. Navia, beginning of a new voyage. Let's go.
Whether prince or pauper, researcher or reporter, any law-abiding citizen in Fontaine will find a warm welcome from the Spina di Rosula. And there's no need to be too concerned about owing them a favor. In the words of the current president, come on, let's be friends.
Count me in.
Her umbrella shields her from the wind and sun, but also doubles as a firearm. Her geovision adds an extra dose of firepower and is perfectly color-matched to the rest of her attire. Sometimes demoiselle, other times president, Navia's unique style always breaks the mold. Those with the smartest methods always reap the greatest rewards. Navia gains increased rewards when dispatched on a 20-hour expedition within Fontaine. Navia's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive slashes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Her charged attack consumes stamina over time to perform continuous swirling attacks.
Let's go.
Finishing with an especially powerful slash. After tapping her elemental skill, Navia opens her elegant yet lethal Gunbrella, firing off Rosula shard shots that can pierce enemies, dealing geo damage. The more Rosula shard shots that strike an enemy, the more damage dealt. When a party member obtains an elemental shard created from the crystallize reaction, Navia gains a crystal shrapnel stack. The maximum number of crystal shrapnel stacks is limited, and each time one is gained, the duration is reset. Casting Navia's elemental skill consumes all crystal shrapnel stacks and enhances the skill based on the number of stacks consumed. If 1 to 3 stacks are consumed, each stack increases the number of Rosula shard shots fired. If 4 to 6 stacks are consumed, each stack beyond the third increases the damage dealt by this Gunbrella shot. Hold the elemental skill to enter aiming mode, while continuing to collect elemental shards from crystallize reactions. When released, Navia fires Rosula shard shots. Navia's elemental skill has 2 charges by default.
Okay.
At set intervals, Navia will unleash a surging blade when she fires her Gunbrella, dealing Usia-aligned geo damage. After unlocking the talent Undisclosed Distribution Channels, for a short time after using Navia's elemental skill, Navia's normal, charged, and plunging attacks will deal geo damage that cannot be overridden. The damage dealt by these attacks is also increased.
A proper send-off from the Spina with love.
With her elemental burst, Navia gives the Spina President's order for a magnificent Rosula Dorada salute, unleashing a massive cannon bombardment against enemies in front of her.
Ah,
dealing
man, I
AoE
love
geo
that
damage
alt,
and
dude.
triggering fire support, which periodically deals geo damage for a limited time. When a cannon attack hits an enemy, Navia gains 1 stack of crystal shrapnel. This effect can be triggered once per set interval. The Spina di Rosula has to deal with people of all factions and affiliations. That's much easier when you keep everyone on friendly terms. After unlocking the talent Mutual Assistance Network, for every Pyro, Electro, Cryo, and Hydro member in the party, Navia's attack is increased by a certain percentage, up to a limited number of stacks. Navia is a quick and agile thinker. Only the few who can keep up with her train of thought stand a chance of dodging her Rosula salute. In battle, Navia's main means of attack is her elemental skill, which relies heavily on accumulating crystal shrapnel stacks to fire off extra Rosula shard shots. This is a team effort, as Navia gains crystal shrapnel stacks whenever she or any of her party members collect an elemental shard created by a crystallized reaction. By using her elemental skill with enough crystal shrapnel stacks, she fires more Rosula shard shots and deals greater damage to enemies. When
Alright.
energy is full, Navia orders a Rosula Dorada salute, which provides continuous fire support and increases the efficiency of crystal shrapnel acquisition. As the cannonade continues, geo cannonballs fall like confetti to celebrate a well-earned victory.
Hey, let's go.
People have many preconceived notions of what a good leader should look like. Mature and grounded, powerful, even austere. The young and vivacious Navia is perhaps not what many would picture. But it would be a mistake to underestimate her just because of her beaming smile. She remains staunchly optimistic about the future of Spina di Rosula, the court of Fontaine, and even the whole world, despite all the trials she has endured. It's unfortunate when the path to a brighter future compels her to close her umbrella and turn it against others as a weapon.
Damn.
But all budding roses need thorns for protection.
True. That's fair. That's very much fair. But yeah, I like her. Man, there's so many characters I want to pull in this game, dude. I definitely want to pull her. Whenever her banner comes around, I definitely want to pull her, man. I love the whole cannon for her alt, and just the whole Gunbrella thing. I just love that, man. It's just such a good thing, bro. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the next video. Chevreuse, compliance is imperative. Let's go.
In the interests of manpower, Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has had to widen their net and take on a number of unusual characters. This has led to many personality clashes in the past, but if one thing unites them all, it is their absolute obedience to Captain Chevreus's command. After all, any would-be troublemakers would probably have to out-train her first.
A little extra training never hurts.
The Special Patrol is tasked with taking on the most dangerous cases and taking down the worst offenders. Their captain, Chevreuse, combines the power of her pyrovision with her skilled marksmanship to great effect as she works with her team to uphold justice. Seizing the initiative is key in a crisis. When Chevreuse is in the party, she reduces sprinting stamina consumption for your own party members, making exploration faster. Chevreuse's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes with her polearm, dealing physical damage. Using her charged attack, Shavraz consumes a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way. When her elemental skill is tapped, Shavraz quickly draws her musket and fires at the enemy, dealing AoE pyro damage. Hold her elemental skill to enter aiming mode, locking onto a target in her sights to fire a more precise shot. For a certain duration after Shavraz discharges her elemental skill, she will continuously restore HP to the active character.
Okay.
The amount of HP restored is based on her max HP. Whenever a nearby party member triggers an overloaded reaction, Shavraz gains an overcharged ball. She can keep only one overcharged ball in her possession at any one time. And if she has one when her skill is held and released, the overcharged ball is fired instead, dealing greater pyro damage over a larger area. At specific intervals, when Shavraz's elemental skill strikes an enemy, a surging blade is summoned, which deals Usia-aligned pyro damage. After unlocking the talent Vertical Force Coordination, for a certain period after Shavraz fires an overcharged ball with her elemental skill, all nearby Pyro and Electro party members gain a percentage attack bonus based on Shavraz's max HP. The bonus that can be gained this way has a limit. When individuals with complementary skill sets are brought together, the whole team is stronger. After unlocking the talent Vanguard's Coordinated Tactics, when the party is composed entirely of both Pyro and Electro members, Shavraz grants Coordinated Tactics to all nearby party members. After a character triggers the Overloaded reaction, Coordinated Tactics decreases both the Pyro and Electro resistance of enemies affected by the Overloaded reaction.
Hands where I can see 'em!
Unleashing her elemental burst, Shavraz fires an explosive grenade from her musket, dealing AoE pyro damage. After the explosive grenade hits, it splits into several secondary explosive shells. These shells will explode after a short duration, dealing pyro damage to nearby enemies. The musket is Shavraz's weapon of choice. Once she's got you in her iron sights, you'd better be ready for a firefight.
Okay,
In
damn.
battle, Shavraz primarily uses her elemental skill to support her teammates, not only from the firepower, but also by healing the active character after discharging her weapon. When she is in a party that meets the requirements, her passive talent reduces enemy resistance to Pyro and Electro, after a party member triggers an overloaded reaction against them. Furthermore, firing overcharged balls can increase her comrade's attack, bolstering the team's effectiveness. When energy is full, Shavraz unleashes her elemental burst, firing an explosive grenade with secondary explosive shells to deal AoE pyro damage, paving the way for the team to move in and apprehend the suspects.
Okay.
In Fontaine, there is one law for all, but people's own conceptions of justice can differ quite drastically, depending on their individual life experiences. This can be a source of tension, so Shavraz does not impose her own private notions of justice onto other people. And yet, she reserves the right to judge portrayals of justice elsewhere. If you're curious to know more, try buying her some deep-fried snacks and get her talking about popular novels and shows. I think you'll find what she has to say less intimidating than her stern gaze might suggest.
Alright. That's pretty decent, I won't lie. Also, for her ultimate, she wields a gun. I'm sorry, I had to say that. I'm sorry. I like her. She seems to be more of a sub-DPS / support character, from what I see. And I kind of like her animations. Her animations look pretty decent. I might pull her if she ever comes around. But yeah, overall, decent stuff. I like it. Anyways, let's move on to the next trailer. Xianyun, Moon and Stars and a Canopy of Clouds. Let's go.
The idea that an Adeptus just moved into your neighborhood must seem so delusional that it would never cross anyone's mind. And so, to the urbanites of Liyue Harbor, the elegant Xianyun is simply a new face on the block with a rather unique personality. She likely wouldn't admit it herself, but she's probably quite pleased about this. After all, it shows how adept she is at blending into human society.
Please call me Xian Yun in public.
There are many tales about the Adepti of Liyue, and plenty of Cloud Retainer's deeds feature among them. If you ever meet a gifted inventress who moves with the grace of a crane and has a heart for the younger generation, you may have just crossed paths with an Adeptus in disguise. To journey with this Adeptus is to bathe in the breeze. When Shen Yun is in the party, gliding speed is increased for your own party members, making exploration faster. Shen Yun's normal attack summons swirling wind to perform up to 4 attacks, dealing anemo damage. Her charged attack consumes a certain amount of stamina to launch a breeze bolt in a straight line, dealing anemo damage to enemies in its path.
Okay.
When Shen Yun uses her elemental skill, she enters Cloud Transmogrification state and uses Skyladder once, leaping forward and dealing anemo damage to targets along her path. While in this state, she takes no fall damage, and her plunging attack is converted into Drift Cloud Wave, which deals AoE anemo damage, and ends the Cloud Transmogrification state. Drift Cloud Wave damage is considered plunging attack damage. Each time Shen Yun enters Cloud Transmogrification state, she may use Skyladder up to 3 times. And each use of Skyladder while in this state will increase the damage and AoE of Drift Cloud Wave. Skyladder can be used in mid-air, and if it is not used again within a short period, the Cloud Transmogrification state will be cancelled. If Drift Cloud Wave is not used while in Cloud Transmogrification state, her elemental skill's cooldown will be shorter. After unlocking the talent Gale Feather Pursuit, each enemy struck by Shen Yun's Drift Cloud Wave grants all nearby party members 1 stack of Storm Pinion, which increases the crit rate of plunging attacks. Storm Pinion has a maximum of 4 stacks and has a limited duration.
Okay.
Make way for the Adeptus!
Shen Yun's Elemental Burst brings forth a Sacred Breeze that deals AoE anemo damage, heals all nearby characters based on Shen Yun's attack, and summons the mechanism Star Wicker.
Okay, so she can heal, okay.
Active character, and periodically heals all nearby characters based on Shen Yun's attack. Star Wicker comes with 8 stacks of Adeptal Assistance. While active, Adeptal Assistance increases the jump height of nearby active characters.
Oh, yo, that's so
When
good.
an active character completes a plunging attack, Star Wicker consumes 1 stack of Adeptal Assistance to deal AoE anemo damage. Only 1 Star Wicker can exist on the field at a time. Ms. Shen Yun's mechanical inventions are so ingenious that they are often mistaken for being products of Adeptal power. After unlocking the talent Consider the Adeptus in her realm, when the Star Wicker created by her Elemental Burst has stacks of Adeptal Assistance, plunging attack damage on landing is increased for nearby active characters based on Shen Yun's attack. There is a limit to the plunging attack damage increase that can be granted in this way. The damage increase is only applied to a single enemy per plunging attack, and each character can trigger the effect once per set interval. Shen Yun created her Lunastar artifices as gifts for other people, and although she kept Star Wicker for herself, she often uses it to assist her companions. Shen Yun's elemental skill not only facilitates exploration, but is also a formidable tool.
Okay, that looks sick.
Using Skyladder, she can gracefully traverse the battlefield and unleash Drift Cloud Wave against enemies. When energy is full, Shen Yun calls forth Sacred Winds to heal all her companions and summons Star Wicker to assist them in the fight. Star Wicker periodically heals teammates and provides Adeptal assistance to increase their plunging attack damage. Smart use of Adeptal mechanisms gets maximum results for minimum effort, even in battle. When most mortals think of Adepti, they picture a reclusive hermit, solemn, refined, and reserved. Yet Cloud Retainer is full of vim and vigor. Among the Adepti, she is the most inclined towards gatherings and casual conversation. And among mortals,
Okay.
she is the most doting elder, who cares deeply for the young. When not at home engineering new marvels, she is often found at the shops on Feiyun Slope, or the snack stalls of Chuhu Rock. Those familiar with Shenyun are well accustomed to the haughty tone she sometimes fails to conceal, and tend to think of her as an older sister. In her own words, certain things are best understood in the mind and not said aloud.
Okay. I like that. She seems pretty dope. Also, she seems super different from, at least the way her kit is set up, seems kind of super different than the way the trailers portrayed her. Like in the other trailers, you would think that she would be a DPS, but here it seems like she's more of a sub DPS / support unit, which is interesting. Would not have expected that. And I really like her character. She seems pretty nice, and I can't wait to meet her. But yeah, other than that, I love the animations, I love the effects as well. And also, the increase in jump height seems to be really useful. But yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next trailer. Gaming, a roaring dance in misty hues. Let's go.
Being a hired guard is a demanding and dangerous job that requires constant vigilance. Gregarious guards like Gaming, who have the energy to make small talk with their clients, are a rare find indeed. But woe befalls any bandit who underestimates his professionalism. To paraphrase a Liyue proverb, they'll soon find themselves going out for wool and coming home shorn.
Ready to rumble.
Not only is Gaming a gold standard guard, he also leads a wushu troupe called the Mighty Mythical Beasts. With the help of his pyrovision, he and his trusty companion Mansai can guarantee the safe delivery of any goods and perform spectacular wushu dances. Having Gaming in the team is like having extra wind in your sails. When Gaming is in the party, movement speed of your own party members is increased during the daytime.
Okay.
This talent does not take effect in domains, trounce domains, or the spiral abyss. Gaming's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes, dealing physical damage. His charged attack consumes stamina over time to perform continuous swirling attacks, finishing with an especially powerful slash. Using his elemental skill, Gaming pounces forward using the wushu arts, then leaps high into the air after striking. If he then executes a plunging attack while still airborne, he will perform the powerful plunging attack, Charmed Cloud Strider, instead.
Okay.
Damage dealt by plunging attack Charmed Cloud Strider is converted to pyro damage that cannot be overridden by other elemental infusions. Upon landing, Gaming consumes a fixed amount of HP. His HP cannot be reduced below a certain percentage in this way. Damage dealt by Cloud Strider is considered plunging attack damage. After unlocking the talent Dance of Amity, after plunging attack Charmed Cloud Strider strikes an enemy, Gaming regains a percentage of his max HP at set intervals for a short period.
Okay.
Many happy returns!
Gaming's elemental burst sends him into his wushu stance. He briefly applies pyro to himself, gains increased resistance to interruption, recovers a fixed amount of HP, and summons his reliable companion, the Swanee Mansai, who smashes into a target and deals AoE pyro damage.
Okay.
After striking a target, Mansai rolls to a nearby location before moving back towards Gaming. After regrouping with Gaming, Mansai leaves the field and resets the cooldown of Gaming's elemental skill.
Okay.
While in his wushu stance, if Gaming has enough HP when using plunging attack Charmed Cloud Strider, or when his elemental skill's pounce attack ends, he will summon Mansai again. Gaming can only summon one Mansai to the field at once. The effect is cleared if Gaming leaves the field. Conserving your energy is the key to being ready for anything. After unlocking the talent Air of Prosperity, when Gaming's HP is under 50%, he will receive an incoming healing bonus. When his HP is 50% or higher, plunging attack Charmed Cloud Strider will deal increased damage. Being an armed escort means protecting assets and capturing bandits, and Gaming has a wealth of experience. When facing enemies, Gaming uses his elemental skill to leap high into the air before unleashing the powerful plunging attack Charmed Cloud Strider to deal AoE pyro damage. When energy is full, Gaming enters Wusho stance with his elemental burst, summoning the Swanni Mansai to deal AoE pyro damage and reset the cooldown of his elemental skill. While in Wusho stance, Gaming and Mansai work in sync, using repeated elemental skills and plunging attacks to drive back the enemy and deliver another batch of goods intact.
Alright, let's
Successful
go.
merchants are good at seizing new opportunities, but a stable long-term investment is always preferable. So naturally, to Gaming's father, inheriting the family business should have been the obvious choice for his son to make. Alas, personal growth is one business that resists top-down management. When Gaming left his hometown to follow his dreams, he certainly strayed from the path his father had planned for him, but that's not to say his life went off the rails.
Okay.
As long as you can provide for yourself, far better to forge your own way forward than stick with a job you hate.
True. Truth. There's so much truth in that, man. Holy crap. But yeah, I liked it. The lion dance thing is pretty unique. I like that. Very few characters in gaming really have that sort of moveset with like a lion head. Especially in the sort of action RPG / open world genre. Very few characters have done that. But yeah, overall great stuff, man. I love it. The animations are amazing. It's super cute, and super excited to learn more about Gaming, like, in his story. So yeah, let's move on to the final collective Miscellany of this video. So yeah, let's do it. Shiori. Brocade of Fragrant Beauty. Let's go.
Thanks to people's appetite for new things, Chiori's arrival on the Fontaine fashion scene met with a warm welcome. Likewise, customers from all walks of life are welcome at Chioria Boutique, but satisfaction is not guaranteed. If you get too big for your boots, the chances are you'll be strongly encouraged to leave.
Let me guess. Need something tailor-made?
Chiori is a versatile designer, able to work skillfully with any bladed instrument. This is reflected in her unique combat style, which combines a dual-wielding sword technique with the power of Geo, helping her to iron out any issues that arise in the course of business. Chiori is a firm believer that dressing sharp always helps people rise to the occasion. When Chiori is in the party, if any party member is wearing an outfit other than their default outfit, or a wind glider other than Wings of First Flight, your own party members will obtain the Swift Stride effect, which increases their movement speed. This talent does not take effect in domains, trounce domains.
That's a bit of
or
an
the Spiral
odd
Abyss.
thing, but okay.
Chiori's normal attack can combo up to 4 sword strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Her charged attack consumes stamina and performs 2 swift slashes to her front, dealing physical damage. When her elemental skill is tapped, Chiori dashes forward as smoothly as silk. Hold her elemental skill to enter aiming mode and adjust the direction of her dash. When her dash ends, Chiori performs an upward sweep, dealing AoE geo damage to nearby enemies based on her attack and defense, and summons to her side the automaton doll, Tomoto. Tomoto periodically slashes at nearby enemies, dealing AoE geo damage based on Chiori's attack and defense. While Tomoto is active, if a geo construct is present nearby or if one is created, an additional Tomoto will be summoned to the active character's side. Up to 1 additional Tomoto may be summoned in this way, and the duration of each Tomoto is calculated independently. After unlocking the talent Tailor-Made, for a short period after Chiori performs her elemental skill's upward sweep, tapping her elemental skill again will trigger the Tapestry effect.
Oh yeah, that seems pretty good,
Tapestry
man.
switches to your next party member and grants all of your own party members the Seize the Moment effect. When your active character's normal, charged, or plunging attack strikes an enemy, this effect causes Tomoto to execute a coordinated attack that deals AoE geo damage at the enemy's location. The number of coordinated attacks that can be triggered within a single duration of Seize the Moment is limited, and damage dealt in this way is considered elemental skill damage. If instead Chiori taps her normal attack after performing her elemental skill's upward sweep, then the effect triggered is Tailoring, which grants Chiori a Geo infusion for a limited duration. Tailoring will also be triggered automatically after a short period if Chiori remains on the field after performing her elemental skill's upward sweep, but neither taps her elemental skill nor her normal attack.
Okay.
I am the cutting edge of fashion.
With her elemental burst, Chiori unsheathes her twin blades and slices with the clean cuts of a master tailor, dealing AoE geo damage based on her attack and defense. It takes a rare level of skill to improve upon the finest fabric, but Chiori always has a new element to add. After unlocking the talent The Finishing Touch, when a nearby party member creates a geo construct, Chiori will gain a geo damage bonus for a period of time.
Okay.
Chiori's first creation,
She looks
Tomoto,
awesome,
has
by the
gone on
way.
to become an indispensable aid when fighting against her foes. Chiori's primary means of dealing with
I
her
love the
enemies is her
expression on that
elemental
doll
skill,
there.
which sends
On her
dashing
thing, whatever it
forward
is called
and
again.
summons Tomoto. Careful use of her elemental
Tomoto.
skill to trigger the effects of the talent
That's it.
tailor-made creates close-knit cooperation between Tomoto and the active character for a seamless string of attacks. When energy is full, she brandishes her dual blades with the deft grace and pinpoint precision of a master tailor, dealing AoE geo damage to
Alright.
enemies as she buttons up the battle. I have heard the term empire used to describe the world of fashion. A slight exaggeration, perhaps, but its use is not entirely unwarranted. Every kingdom runs on its own rules, and those who enter its territory must make sure to respect the law of the land, whatever their private beliefs may be. What am I insinuating? Nothing. I'm merely musing about fashion in general. But it's hardly my area of expertise. If you want to know more, why not pay a visit to Chioriya Boutique? It couldn't hurt.
Alright. Okay. That was a pretty decent last one to end off on. I like her. I love her fashion design. I also love her bluntness as well. I also love that she dual wields swords, man. And she seems pretty dope, I won't lie. I love her animations as well. I especially love her ult animation. That was amazing. I love the colors and the fabric and cutting through the fabric during that ultimate. And just, I love some of the expressions on the Tomotos as well that she summons. They're just so good, man. But yeah, that's it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like on the video. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And please let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments below. And thank you guys again so much for watching. Remember to stay humble and be kind to people. And I'll see you guys later.